Hey guys, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. My name is Nathan Masters. Today I wanted to do a quick demonstration of some of the helpful tools in this digital builder known as Studio. So I have done introductions for a lot of the other stuff that you can do with Studio. Today I wanted to move kind of quickly through something I've been working on with selection tools and colors. So let's say you have a model like this, and some of the interior bricks, since they're not visible, you can actually use any color for those pieces. And this is especially helpful when you're trying to build some structure very cheaply. So some of the pieces on the inside here, we don't need them to be red or black. They can be any color. And for this model, I've used yellow as one of those colors. But since they're inside the model, it can be difficult to see which pieces those are and how many there are, different kinds of pieces like that. So one of the ways that I've been able to work around this is to use a combination of the color select tool and the hide tool. So let me just show you how that works. First, we're going to go up to the select menu. The default select is kind of your regular old cursor. You can point and click, that kind of thing. There's three sub selectors, so you can select by color, by type, and then you can also combine them into type and color. Today I want to work with the color selector. So this will put a little paint palette next to your cursor right here, and then you can come down, and I've laid these out so that they're easily accessible. You might not have this in your model, so go ahead and put this in if you want to be doing something like this. Just makes it easier to work with. And I'm going to click on the yellow brick. What that does is it's going to select all the pieces that are the same color as the first thing I click on. So you can do this with any color. Here's blue, tan, dark gray. We'll start with yellow, and you can see, yeah, there's some pieces inside the model here, so they are showing up, but in general they're pretty hidden. You can't really see what they are and what they might be doing. But yeah, there are yellow pieces here. It also gives you the count right away, 15 parts selected. So we know there are 15 yellow pieces, and it is counting this yellow brick. So there's actually 14 pieces in the model. So now that we have these selected, you can use the hide tool, and that will hide these pieces. But I want to hide everything except for these pieces. So we're going to go back up to the select menu again, and at the very bottom is an option called invert selection. We click on that, and now this changes over everything selected to the pieces that were not selected before. So invert selection, pretty straightforward. It just reverses everything that you had clicked. Now we have everything selected that we actually want to hide. We go to the hide button right here. As soon as we click this, it's going to hide everything. And what we're left with is kind of a skeleton view of everything that wasn't selected, which turns out to be our yellow selected pieces, because that's what we had before we did the invert. So now we can get a really good look at exactly which pieces are in here that are yellow, the type of pieces that they are, and where they're at in the model without doing a whole lot of work to the model itself. We're just hiding bricks with the hide tool, so that kind of thing. There's ways to do this with the little parts menu on the side here, but when you get into a really large model with hundreds of steps, it gets a little bit cumbersome, and I just find this to be a lot more straightforward. So that's 3 clicks or so to get to that point. We can go back through the same process with another color. Color select, color that you want to hide. Let's do tan, there's more of those. And then you invert that with the invert selection. I think you can also map this to a shortcut, which I talked about recently, and that would be in the preferences somewhere up here. So if you go into the preferences, you can actually jump to the invert selection with a single key shortcut, but I don't use it that often, so I haven't done that. So everything's inverted now, and now we will just hide, and we can see our tan pieces very clearly. Not quite as many of those, but some gears in here and some of those pins. Pretty handy. We'll do it one more time with the dark bluish gray. Invert selection and hide, and here's our dark bluish gray. So I like to do this just to get an idea when I'm looking at different colors. Like I said, inside the model here, those yellow bricks can actually be any color. So if I'm trying to build something and I already have pieces in that specific color, I can just use those instead of trying to buy something to match the color scheme, because again, those are completely hidden in the model and they won't be visible at all. This also shows me, if I have stuff sorted by color, which other pieces I would want to grab at the same time. So you might be in that situation. I don't have a lot of things sorted by color right now because most of my stuff is sorted by part type. But yep, that's just a little guide for people who might be able to use that. This X-Wing, just a little background here, is kind of a modification of something that was on Rebrickable, and Josh wanted one with the red and black color scheme, so I've been working on this for Josh, and just using tricks like these to be able to pull pieces to build this for him. And he's going to work on a little Star Wars display, I think. That's it for today, guys. Looking at some studio shortcuts, some studio hacks, I suppose you could call them. And just as you work with this program, you'll be able to find this stuff as well. It's like anything else, practice makes perfect. So if you got any questions about this process or studio in general, I'm on here quite a bit, so drop those down in the comments and I'll get back to you when I can. Until next time, we will see you guys around.